Hey everybody, this is Dark Side Elite here, and I wanted to do this video because I heard a lot of people. I've heard a good amount of my in my comment section that someone wanted me to do the Flash and also the Green Lantern. Now I will definitely give you guys a pitch of the Green Lantern. I have to think about certain things, but the Flash, it's actually relatively easy, and also I want to do it in a way that keeps into keeps into the fact of what Snyder was doing and also what was going on in the whole grander scope of things. Also, I want to change up a few things because of what the CW did with Crisis. I want to add that in because I thought that was the best way of introducing Ezra Miller's Flash. Now, one, I would completely change it. I want to change it to something a little bit different. Okay, so to get going, I'm sorry about that. I had to take a little bit of a break. Now, to get completely going in this, I want to add in the fact that we're going back into the house to give you an understanding of what's going on. Now, I'm going to show you I'm going to give you a completely different scene about what happens with Barry's mother's death. And Barry was there. He watched this happen. This isn't like what happened in the TV show where he didn't see it because the future Barry grabbed him and ran the little boy out. So he didn't see it. This version saw it. He saw him put his hand vibrate and put his hand right into his mother's chest and killed him. And he got up and tried to run and hit him, and that's when the other Flash turned around and was about to do it to him in that split second. And the other Flash comes in, uses the full connection of his speed and changed his lightning to white, which shocks the crap out of Eobard Thawne. And he grabs his younger self, grabs his father, and runs far down the street and gets him out of the house because he was going to kill the both of them and run out of the Speed Force. That's what was going to happen. And now this version of Eobard Thawne, now I don't want to get into the depth of it, is this version of Eobard Thawne has the same looking armor as this version of the Flash that you see before you. However, it doesn't have the wires. It's different. It looks a little more futuristic. It looks clean, and also it has a faceplate that comes around over his face when he needs to, and also the lighting on his ears are a little bit more up and outwards. So you're like, wow. And his insignia is a little bit more protrudes outwards. So you're like, like I said, it looks a little more futuristic. And his lightning is red versus Ezra's, which will be orange. Now, the reason why it's white is if you go back and look at Ezra Miller's comments about the UV spectrum. When they reach a certain level of speed, their lightning changes to a certain level of part of the UV spectrum. White means you have the most connection. Black means you don't have as much connection. Red means you have more connection than the orange. Hence why Eobard is always going to be a little bit faster than Barry. He will always be a little bit faster than Barry. Always, no matter what. Barry will have orange. That's why Wally's is a little bit more reddish than orange, because he has a stronger connection to the Speed Force. But he can go white if he wanted to. He could turn his lightning white if he wanted to, and it has turned white before. That's why Wally's is white most of the time you see in Rebirth, because his connection to the Speed Force is the strongest connection. He is the fastest of all the Flashes. He's faster than Barry, way faster than Barry. Even if Barry does get Eobard's speed, it's still not comparable to Wally's if Wally has the full connection to the Speed Force. That's just the way it is. Now, this version of Barry, when he tries to run into the Speed Force, which the way I would do it is, it's kind of like how Star Trek does it when they go into warp. They stretch the scenery. He does it the same way, but you see his body move slower and slower, and it stretches. And then you see a piercing light that gets brighter and brighter, and that's when you see him go wow right into the Speed Force. And it shows a long corridor highway. It's like a highway, but and he's running on nothing because his feet are moving so fast. It's making its own gravitational pull. So he's running so fast, but it's showing him running just normal speed, how they show him in Justice League. He's running so fast that it just looks like he's running normally, but he's moving so fast. but he's moving so fast over the course of the speed over the way lines, because this is the way it's called. It's called the way lines. He uses the speed force to enter the way lines of the multiverse itself. That's how he's able to travel however he wants. There's way lines. And just like how magic has way lines across the earth because of the Rock of Eternity, and also because of how the way lines of magic works in DC, it's the same with the Speed Force. It has its way lines, and they can go anywhere they want within the multiverse because of it. The only places they cannot go are outside of where the Speed Force can't go, which is to dimensions. Like they can't go. He can't run into the Speed Force to go to Trigon's planet. He can't. I mean Trigon's world. He can't go there to the realm of sin. He can't go there. He can't go to freaking Apocalypse. He can't go to New Genesis. He can't go to the realm of the gods. He can't go to the realm of dreams and the place of Vertigo. He can't go to any one of those places. He can't even run to the source wall. He can't. Because the emotional spectrum, I'm sorry, not the emotional spectrum, but the Speed Force cannot go past that barrier. It's a dimensional barrier. So they can't go there. You have to go there either by boom tube or by someone who can actually teleport you there and open a portal there. That's the only way it can ever work. And so while he's running along the way lines of the Speed Force, a massive light hits and he looks and he goes, what the? And he goes, ah! And he gets enveloped by it. And then he show him in Star Labs in that same scene with Grant Gustin. And they're having that conversation. He's sitting there in his old gear, his old suit. He's like, what the heck is going on? This is not what my suit looks like. And he goes, well, what do you mean that's not what your suit looks like? Because you kind of change the scene just a little bit. And he's like, he goes, whoa, that's actually pretty cool. Hey, that's actually pretty cool. And then he goes, hey, wait a minute, something's wrong. He goes, huh? I'm not supposed to be here. Is this the Speed Force? And he goes, yeah, it's the Speed Force. This is way different than my Speed Force. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, it doesn't look like this. And they have a little bit more of a conversation, and then he disappears. And then he shows him slammed. He goes, huh? And he looks around, and he's inside of his office in the CPD, in CCPD. And he's looking around and he sees all the clippings of what happened with his mother, all the clippings of the Batman, Superman, what happened at the Black Zero event, all the clippings of the sightings of Wonder Woman, Aquaman, the sightings of the Blur, the Scarlet's, they call him the Scarlet Speedster. So they don't know what to call him. He doesn't have his name yet, quote unquote, I'm sorry, air quotes, name yet. So he's looking around going, what the heck? And he's getting up looking around and he's like, wait a minute. And he's like, wait a minute, this isn't his office. So he goes down and they're sitting there talking to him like he's still a junior investigator. He's still a junior CI. So he's just a crime. He's still a junior CSI, and he's like, wait a minute, that's supposed to be his office. Like that's his office. They go, no, that's not your office. And they're like, well, so he has this whole discombobulated scenes and everything else, but he's now getting information that he's back in the past. This is still him within his first year of being the Flash, but that's impossible because his memories show that he has all these memories of have all these fights against all these enemies. His fights against Eobarthon, Gorilla Grodd, the Rogues, and his battle against this. And then then you get one bit of information, you know exactly where you're at. They talk about the battle against Steppenwolf, and you're like, whoa, so we're in the middle. We are in the Snyder Cut. This is right after the Snyder Cut. And Barry is like going, wait a minute, I never fought Steppenwolf. You're like, what? He has never fought Steppenwolf before. He doesn't even remember that. And you're like, what the heck? And then they talk about what happened with the Calamity and then the death of Batman, and Gotham is now being protected by Superman. You see Superman you see a picture of Henry Cavill and the new Justice League. They call himself the new Justice League, and he's like, and he's now he realizing that Batman's dead, and he goes, Bruce, and then he runs over. And the moment he tries to get out the door and he looks around and he goes, wait a minute, where's my ring? Where's my suit? And then he's like, whatever. And he runs off, and he sees that he's running way faster than he's ever ran. He's like, oh my God, whoa! His lightning is white. He's like, and he stops. He goes, whoa, that's impossible. And he's like, and he looks and he says, dude, he ran from Central City to Star City like it was nothing. Like it was not even it was like he was there already. He's like, I've never ran that fast before in my life. How did I do that? I gotta talk to Bruce. I gotta talk to Bruce. No, he's not dead. Bruce can't be dead. Bruce is Batman. And he runs right to Gotham. He's like, dude, I can get you. And he's in there. He's enjoying his speed. You're like, oh my God, he's never been this fast before. His lightning is white. He doesn't know. He's trying to figure it out. So he goes to Alfred, which we get Jeremy Irons. And Jeremy Irons tells him that Bruce has been dead for the past couple of years, Master Allen. He goes, and he's in there going, that's impossible. It's Bruce. Bruce survives everything. He survived that. And Alfred's sitting there looking at him like, how do you know that? And he goes, who are you? And he goes, no, Alfred, it's me. It's Barry. And he slowly starts to explain. He goes, I don't know. This is what happened. And Alfred goes, I see. So you're Mr. Allen, but you're not Mr. Allen. And he goes, you're Mr. Allen, but you're not Mr. Allen. He goes, I know how it sounds. He goes, I know it sounds crazy. Crazy? Well, we got an alien that can bench press planets. We got an immortal goddess. He goes, an immortal goddess? He goes, yeah, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's a goddess? He goes, yes. He goes, I thought she was made out of clay. You're like, whoa, dude. He's throwing down all these bombs. Like, dude, he thought that, wait a minute. And he goes, we have the Atlanteans. And then he says that, he goes, and we have a man that can run faster than the speed of sound. He goes, actually, I can run past the time limit, the time barrier. He goes, my point exactly. And you think that this, what you're telling me is out of the ordinary. He goes, touche. He goes, all right. So he goes, all right, I'll see what I can do to help, but I'm not a particle physicist and I'm not a quantum theorist, so I don't know how I can help. He goes, Bruce had something on his computers. I don't know. So he goes, have you seen Eobard Thawne? He goes, Eobard Thawne? He goes, the Reverse Flash? No. Okay, how about Captain Cold? Heat Wave? Rainbow Rider? Golden Glider? Gorilla Grodd. Okay, you can't miss Gorilla Grodd. I don't know about Mr. Gorilla Grodd. He goes, Large Gorilla. Yes. No. I know about Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday. Wow. Okay. All right. So none of my villains have showed up. You have villains. He's sitting there telling him like he has all these villains, and he's sitting there going, yeah. He goes, no. He goes, whoa. So this is a fresh start. I can get things right. Iris. Oh, if you can, I will do what I can. He goes, I will do what I can, Mr. Allen. Just slow down. He goes, I don't know if I can slow down, but this is going to be so cool. Bye. Boom. And he's gone. And he runs all the way over to where Iris is supposed to be. But he sees her just, and this is what I would do. Change Iris. Put her back as a redhead. Because West is Irish. I'm sorry. West is an Irish name. It's Irish. I'm sorry. Please, can we get a redheaded Iris? Not Irish. Iris, please. I would like to have Iris as a redhead, and she's Irish. I don't want to mix. Please don't give me a mixed. Give me a white girl, redhead, freckles. Please. Please. She could do it. It's not wrong. I would also make it where Joe West, they never had a relationship. He got adopted by Detective Chide. And if you don't know who Detective Chide is, in the TV show, that was Joe's partner who died in the first episode. That's the guy that actually adopts Barry, but they don't have a very strong relationship in this universe. In this universe, he does not have a strong relationship. That's why he went to Detective Chide, but Detective Chide doesn't talk to him like a dad he would. He keeps his distance because he's just keeping Barry okay until Barry gets himself on his feet. He tries to go talk to his dad. The moment he mentions one small thing about Eobard, his dad does something. His dad does something, and it literally makes you think about it. It really makes you think about it, and you either get two things out of it. Either his dad knows exactly what he's talking about, or his dad knows exactly what he's talking about, or this just, or something else is going on here. Like but you got to catch it. If you catch it, you got to catch it. And if you catch it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's a great acting scene. So they're talking about all this, and he's talking about that. He knows who did it. He knows who did it. He's gonna stop him. The man in yellow. I know exactly who he is. I know Eobard Thawne. He goes, his father tells him, "You don't want to be a part of this. Let it go. Just live your life." And everything that his father told him to do in Justice League. Don't let this be your legacy. So he leaves, and that's when we get introduced to Captain Cold and Heatwave. Now, I'm changing them from two. There's a reasoning why I'm doing it, and it's because of this reason. We already had him on the TV show. Wentworth Miller did a phenomenal job, and so did Dominic Purcell. They had great chemistry together as best friends because they've been together for a very long time. But I want something, because this version of Barry is way different than the TV show. This Barry is way faster than Grant Gustin's version. Way faster. His connection to Speed Force is a lot stronger. And he's going to have a lot more layers of speed. So he needs to fight against guys, because you got to realize that Barry understands how fast it takes for you to pull a trigger. Barry has that level of knowledge because he's fought against these people so many times. So he knows it takes 0.33, it takes X amount of seconds for you to pull that trigger. I will already be there, grab the bullet, grab the gun out of your hand, punch you across the face, run around, grab you, run you over to the police department, drop you in, put you in a different position, and the moment I stop the speed, you're gonna fly into the wall and knock yourself out. Done. That's how accurate he is. So when he gets there, he's like, oh man, these guys, but this time they don't have tech. They have powers. Mick Rory as Heatwave is a pyrokinetic, and Leonard Snart is a cryokinetic. He's thinking, what the heck? And they're going, hey, it's Flash. And they're going, boom, it's the Scarlet Speedster. And they use her. He's like, oh no, and he gets wrecked against them. And that's what I mean. Wrecked. There was nothing he could do against these two. They beat the living crap out of him because his body isn't responding to what his mind wants, because his mind is wanting to do all this stuff, but his body's like, I don't know how to, because he's thinking at this level of speed when he's way faster than that. So his body is overdoing what he wants to normally do. And he doesn't understand that because of what's going on. So when he goes to see Alfred again, Alfred's sitting there talking to him, and he's sitting there going, well, Bruce doesn't have any information about any of these guys. And he's like, man, okay, maybe Superman has that information. He goes, what? Why would Master Kent have that information? He goes, I don't know. I need some help. So he runs off, and Alfred's like, interesting. Like, that's interesting. So he runs over, and you meet up with Amy Adams. Amy Adams is with her baby, of course, baby Bruce, and he runs over, and he's in there going, she's like, he goes, is Superman here? And she's like, no. He goes, he's saving the West Coast from an earthquake. What's going on? He goes, oh, an earthquake. Okay. Can you tell him I was here? She goes, of course. And baby's in going, crying and everything. She goes, anything I can help you with? He goes, no. I'm gonna need the big boy blue. She goes, okay. She goes, all right. And she starts to about the breastfeed. He goes, okay, oh, whoa. She's looking up and I'm like, what? He goes, you just took out your boob because my baby's hungry. He goes, yeah, you're a grown man. He goes, I know, but I'm not going to be looking at Superman's wife's boob. Okay, I'm sorry. No, thank you very much. Bye. And he runs off. Those funny little scenes, because you also got to realize that Barry is not like that. He's not going to sit there and just stare at a woman. I mean, just keep his composure. Again, this is an older Barry, but he has a lot of respect towards Lois Lane. He has respect towards all the women and everything else. He's like, wow, like what the heck is going on here? We don't get a cameo from Gal Gadot. Sorry. We don't get a cameo from Jason Momoa. Sorry. And the only cameo we get, and the only other but we do get Ray Fisher as Cyborg because he goes to Star Labs to figure out what the heck is going on here. So remember, Cyborg doesn't know that much about anything either, and they make this treadmill, the cosmic treadmill. He goes, yeah, I remember it. Yeah, the cosmic treadmill. He goes, the what? He goes, never mind. So what is he supposed to do? He goes, well, by theory, the more you run on it, the more you'll generate your speed. And I made these conductor coils. And he explains what the room does. Because the way he runs, his lightning is exuding off of his body. And he's thinking because you don't know how to control your powers. And he's thinking to himself, I've had my powers for 5-7 years. I know how to control my powers. But he's his body doesn't. And that's when he's realizing his body. Oh, okay. Well, how about this lightning? Can you explain that? And he goes, we got to analyze it first. So I'm gonna need you to create the energy that you need and run on the treadmill. So then he runs on the treadmill and he's running, and the lightning's just going, zzz, and he's laying there going, oh. Wow. So he's telling about that at your present speed right now, you're conducting enough energy to power a city. He's like, wow. He goes, I've never been able to do that before. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, you do this all the time. He goes, forget what I said. So then Cyborg is analyzing him. He's like, okay. He looks at the data and he analyzes the data. And when Barry gets off the treadmill, he goes, okay, so what's going on? He goes, okay, how about you tell me the truth? And he goes, well, I've been telling you the truth. He goes, come on, man. Lie detector? He points to his head and goes, lie detector? Oh, damn. He goes, and so he explains everything, and that's when Cyborg goes, so there was an event. He goes, an event? I don't know. A big, gigantic flash of light. I was standing in front of another version of myself. It looked completely different than me, and he was saying that he's Barry Allen. I'm like, no, I'm Barry Allen. And then out of nowhere, boom, I appear here. Huh. My sensors never detected that, but my sensors do detect there's a shift. There's a shift in the there's a shift in his data. Like this data is off by a little bit. So now it's reacclimating new data. He's been doing this ever since that ever happened. He goes, when did it happen? He goes, ever since I became the mother box. And he go, whoa. So that means he's been analyzing his data this whole time, trying to figure out what the heck happened. What caused that shift? They don't know what happened. He goes, oh, man, all right, I'm going to see if I can run into the Speed Force. He goes, run into the Speed Force? I thought you said you are the Speed Force. He goes, no, it's in a different way. Okay, I'll be right back. So he runs, and the moment he tries to run into the Speed Force, and he does the same, he tries to stretch it, but it doesn't stretch. It just normally does what it does, but it's like he knows what the heck is going on. He's like, wait a minute. And he tries to run faster. And he's concentrating on the Speed Force, but it's just he concentrating on the door, but it just stretches and it stays stretched and it doesn't move. And he's like, and the moment he tries it, it goes boom, and it hits and flies backwards and lands hard on the ground. He's like, oh, and the car tries to hit him. He goes, whoa, and he gets out of the way. And he's looking around, going, I can't go in the Speed Force. He's looking around, and yeah, he's looking around. He's in Italy. He's like, oh, I think I ran a little too fast. And the people in Italy are like, they're saying the Flash in Italian. He goes, He goes, boom, and he runs off, and he runs all the way back to the all the way back to Star Labs, and then he's sitting there Cyborg's sitting there going, let me guess, you ended up in Italy? How did you? Satellites. Oh, okay. He goes, so what happened? I can't run into the Speed Force. It's like it's blocked. I slammed right into it. Huh. Now that's a mystery. He goes, yeah, it's a big mystery. He goes, huh. All right, so let me analyze this data and I'll figure it out. He's like, okay. So he goes, what about this problem I have with Captain Cold and Heatwave? And he goes, well, maybe you need to try to figure out a new way to defeat them. So Cyborg's talking to him like, hey, you got to defeat them not a new way, not an old way. But he goes, but if they are the same as they are from what time frame you're from, then their psychology should be the same. He goes, yeah. He goes, all right. And he runs off to go try to find them because he's thinking like, okay, they're gonna have their old haunts. So he goes to the Losers Bar. And if you don't know what the Losers Bar is a dive down in Keystone City where all the bad guys hang out. All of them. Barry knows where that's at. They're surprised as hell he walked in. And they're walking in going, what the hell? And Captain Cold and he were like, what the hell? He goes, hey, there you guys are. He goes, all right, Snart, we need to talk. He goes, what? We kill this guy. And they're all, whoa, everybody's got to wake up. He goes, whoa. And they whip his ass again. They're like, dude, we got to find another place to eat. He goes, yeah, man, let's get out of here. So they get the heck out of there. And the other guys are like, and then the bar owner's like, are you kidding me now? How the heck did this hero know where we're at? Like, literally, it's a dive. No one's supposed to go down there. Flash showed up. Just showed up like it's nothing. Like, hey, I know exactly where it's at. It never changed. It's a dive bar where all the bad guys go at. It's like, what the hell? So he goes, okay, how the heck did that guy knew where we're at? He goes, I don't know. He goes, okay, we got to move the timetable. He goes, all right, well, go and I'll take care of it. So he basically makes a phone call. And you'll know and he's making a phone call to somebody, and you'll know who it is. And they're all, yeah, I know. I'll continue with the plan. All right, I won't fail. I never fail. I get the job done. He goes, trust me. Hangs up and he walks off. And he freezes the phone and he freezes the phone until it completely turns into dust. And he smashes it. Completely smashes it, and he freezes it over and smashes it again. So he basically you can't use any of the data. So he walks off, and then they plot their big scheme. Now again, you've been noticing that you're getting cuts to them talking about the fact that Snart, there's a bigger plan going on, and you'll know what that plan is. But his sister's involved, which is Golden Glider. And Mick is attracted to her. And on top of that, Golden Glider is gorgeous. Sorry, you get a gorgeous actress to play that role. And she doesn't really do much in the movie only because she's just there to be a plot point for the story. Now, again, I'm not saying we're going to get rid of her. I'm just saying that basically we're just going to use her for that point. So then Barry tries to figure out Leonard Snart's plan, and he says that he's going to go after the biggest thing. So he's going here, and it's like a triangle, and it's triangulating and going here. He goes, no, that's not what he's doing. And the captain's like, Captain Singh is like, what do you mean he's not going to go there? He goes, well, Snart's usually the guy that thinks that he's smarter than everyone in the room. He's not going to go here. If you make a bigger triangle, he's going to go here, which correlates to where his X is. This is where he's hitting. And they're like, it's very small. He goes, well, that's where he's going to go. They're like, and Detective Chide is like, I think Barry's right. Let's skate the point. Let's see what the investigation say. He goes, all right, go. He goes, all right. So they leave and they go over there. And Barry is just looking around, and then you walk, and then he looks and he sees something. And he walks over, and he sees that in this room it's a crystal, and it says this crystal, It says it was donated to everyone by, get this, drum roll is Lex Luthor. And he's going, Luthor? He looks around and then he's like, I don't know. He goes, I don't know. I don't know what the heck in here would get Snart to want to rip this place off. He goes, I think he's using a diversion to have someone else come in here. He goes, what do you mean? He goes, look. He goes, this is owned by Lex Luthor. Everything else in this place is meaningless to him, but this is by Lex Luthor. This is the most expensive piece out of this whole out of everything in here. He goes, you're right. So he makes a phone call real quick, and then he comes, and then you see Barry just sitting there looking at it, and he's like, there's something about this. It seems familiar. And then you hear like a gorilla roar, and he's like, and he remembers, and it shows him fighting against Gorilla Grodd. He goes, oh, come on, Grodd, stop, I'm too fast for you. I will kill you, Flash. He goes, oh man, this is just too easy. And he runs off, takes the helmet off. He runs up his arm, grabs the helmet, and goes, man, you just make this so easy. He goes, give me back my crown. And he goes, no, I don't think so. And he throws it away. He goes, what? And he goes, and he hits him, and he knocks him out, and he runs over, grabs the crown, and runs over. Grodd's like, and falls over. And you're like, damn, he just destroyed him. So then, and then he's looking, and he sees that same crystal, and you're thinking, Grodd? This is all done by Grodd? Oh, this is gonna be awesome. No. Diversion. Remember, everything's a diversion. Everything is one and it's not, and it's the other. So then he's looking at it, and he's like, Grodd's behind all this. And he's like, nope, it's not Grodd. I'm telling you, it's not Grodd, but he's thinking it's Grodd. And he goes, yeah, everything else, nothing else is owned by Lex Luthor. He goes, but the pieces that were stolen were by Cord Industries. One was by Wayne Enterprises. And another one, Queen Consolidated. You're like, whoa. He goes, I got to know what those pieces are. He goes, all right, I'll get you the information. He goes, all right. So he walks off, and then he's basically, and you see him looking at the all the pieces, and he's trying to figure it out. Like, what the heck is this? And one was like a it looked like a headpiece. It looks like a headpiece. Again, it's looking like it's something for Grodd, but it's not Grodd. And another, it's actually a coil made out of osmium, and another piece. It looks like a battery piece. It looks like a big gigantic square piece, and it's actually an RMF retractor display device. I'm sorry, not display, but a retracting repulsor device. So basically, he's trying to figure this all out. And he's like, man, this doesn't make any sense. And then he walks off, and then he's trying to figure out, like, what the heck would Grodd want with any of this stuff? And that crystal, he's like, what the heck is this? It's just a regular purple diamond, and it's actually a purple diamond. It's a black diamond. I'm sorry, it's a black diamond from the African Congo. So he's trying to figure out, like, maybe he's going to use his device to amplify his telekinetic ability. So basically, he's trying to pick up the trail about where Grodd is. It's not Grodd. He's going, there is no Grodd in this universe. There is no Grodd. So it's easy for someone to pick up a 500-pound gorilla. I mean, it's easy for someone to pick up a 1,200-pound gorilla. I mean, the gorilla is huge. So how the heck can he not figure out what the heck it is? But so they make the hit. But Barry is able to defeat them and run over to where Golden Glider is, stop her. But she actually uses she uses a key and opens and puts it through a door, unlocks the door, opens the door, and basically throw the use her powers to throw the diamond into the door and close the door before Barry was able to get to it, and basically break the lock. And when he opens the door, it's nothing there. You're like, what the heck? That's your introduction to the key. That's your introduction to the key. And she's like, you'll never find it. He goes, what did you do? And he goes, I did what I got paid for. And he goes, and he wraps her up and takes her away. Now her powers are ethereal, but he was able to make her more lose her powers because she can't stay in that form for very long. That's her weakness. She can't stay in that form for very long. So the moment he ran around her to take her air, she lost the cohesion, became solid, used her powers, unlocked the door, threw the rock in there, closed the door, and broke the key, and said, now you lost it. And he's like, man. So he runs off. But everyone's like, hey, thanks, Flash. So you go through all this stuff. So you get this to be continued motion. And then he's thinking like, who? He's thinking it's Grodd. And he doesn't know he's never met the key in his universe. So he doesn't know who the key is. So that's your big, okay, that's cool now. My personal opinion. So you go, he meets up with Iris. And again, they're in the middle of all this. They're honestly getting their relationship up and running. So everything's starting to go, everything's starting to flow. And you also get a little bit more of him talking to his father, and his father reiterating to him that you need to stay the heck away from all of this. My life is done. And he's like, no, I'm going to get you out of this prison. I know who's behind it, and I'm going to find them, and I'm going to stop them. He's like, okay, all right. So he walks off. And then he looks at the evidence again. He looks at the evidence, and everything that happened in the very beginning, what I told you, it happened. The only thing that was different was Barry was run out of that place before his mother got killed. So he didn't see it, but he remembers him seeing it. So this is the altercation. This was the change. He never saw his mother's death, so he never saw the Reverse Flash. He never saw the other speedster. The only thing he remembers was a guy in a yellow lightning. That's it. And a man in yellow standing before him with red eyes. That's it. He doesn't remember. And all he remembers is an orange lightning appearing before him, and he was outside. And his dad was outside looking at each other like, what the heck is going on? So when his dad ran back, but when the police got there, he came out holding blood in his hands and hey, you killed your wife. And that's all his dad will ever say. But young Barry never saw it. Never saw it. Like I said, in the Snyder Cut, in BVS, in Justice League, he said he knows the evidence is right. He knows his dad never did it, so he went over all the evidence. He never said, I saw who did it. This version of Barry saying, no, I saw who did it, which actually made his dad go, oh, no, you don't want nothing to do with this. Let it go. That's, again, my telling you that there's a lot bigger things going on. So you get one final scene before we get to the credits, and it's Barry looking at his suit going, I think I need to make some upgrades. So he walks over and he starts taking it apart. And then you see him spray it, and he cleans it up, shines it up. He gives a better insignia on the front. He protrudes out the ears a little bit. You're like, well, wait a minute. And he's like, and he puts on, and he creates something new, a refracting type of coating. So it actually will condense down the electricity. He puts in a chip. He puts a couple of chips, one in his wrist, one in both of his wrists, one inside the helmet, and one in each of the legs, and one and a coil on the back on the spinal column. So when he moved, the lightning was not around him as much. He condensed down the lightning. The lightning was coursing into the armor. It was coursing back into the armor, and it actually powers the armor. So his suit got stronger and stronger, and on top of that, it actually was able for him to run and do things at a much stronger pace. And then when he does that, you see this person standing over looking, a bearded, long-haired person. He's sitting there going, and he looks and he goes, and he's starting to laugh, and he gets up and he goes, and you see the red lightning. You're like, oh, and it's the actor. It's the actor who's going to be playing as Eobard. He goes, our final run's not over, Flash. Boom, and you're like, what the? It's Reverse Flash. It's the Reverse Flash, and then that's the ending. So you see the credits, and you get a post-credit scene. It shows Captain Cold, Heatwave, and Golden Glider inside their respective cells, and their powers are being dampened. So they created dampening devices for metahumans, and they're sitting there and they're like, man, I cannot believe you didn't tell us we were working for someone else. So Leonard was saying, do you guys realize this was all part of the plan? This was all part of his plan. They're like, what do you mean, what plan? What do you mean a plan? First of all, we're in jail. And all of a sudden you hear, boom. And he goes, oh, he's here. And then, and you see his suit, and it looks dead on like the one that Barry just made. Dead on. But it's reverse colors. And you're like, whoa. And you see but the only thing that's different is the face mask. And you see the face mask go, and the face mask goes clink, clink, clink. And his helmet goes clink, 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 clink. And you see the long-haired dude with the beard, because he has a beard. His beard comes out, and he goes, are you guys ready? And he has a distorted voice. He goes, are you guys ready? And they're like, and Leonard gets up and goes, I'm ready. He goes, good. The Flash is awakened. Everything is going according to my plan. And then you hear a, and he goes, what? And they're all, actually, you should get that. He goes, and he picks up the phone. He goes, yeah. He goes, and that's when you hear Lex Luthor on the side. He goes, oh, I was always wondering who the guy in yellow really was. And you're like, what? He goes, I think you and I have to have a talk. And he's smiling. You're like, and that's the post credit scene. That's your post credit scene. It makes a lot of sense, and you still get that storyline. You're still continuing that storyline. There's something more going on with Eobard, and now you're getting Lex going, hey, we need to talk. And Leonard's sitting there going, everything's going according to the plan. What the heck is going on? That's how I would do the Flash. Again, I don't want to get into the nuance of the story and everything else, but the basis pitch of it is this version of Barry has memories from a different timeline before the Crisis event, but he's so powerful he doesn't understand what the heck is going on. Also, his speed is at a pinnacle point where even the Reverse Flash is going, he's not supposed to be this fast. What the heck is going on here? That's the thing. That is the thing now. Also, 3. You're getting a new Rogues. And they have meta powers. The only one that doesn't have is not going to have meta powers is the Trickster and Pied Piper. And Captain Boomerang. And I will bring in Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang. He gets hired and everything else. So if I want to do a Flash 2, it's called the Flash 2 Death of the Speed Force. And that one is literally how we're going to introduce the Dark Flash. And we're going to get Zoom. And we're going to get a young Wally West. I would say a young Wally West around the age of 14. 14-year-old Wally West. And we're going to have something huge with that. I really need to think about it and how I would do it, but that's how I would do it. I want Barry Allen to be a young guy, and I want Iris and him to start their relationship, not be in the middle of a relationship. I don't want that. I also want a white Irish Iris West. I don't want a Joe West. I don't want to introduce a Wally West yet. I want to introduce Wally in the second movie, and him trying to get himself up to the point where he's gonna become Kid Flash. That'd be the third movie when it's the race of his life. That'd be the Flash 3, the race of his life, and it's literally Eobard doing something to fix what CW did. but Barry has to keep it the way it is, or everything's gonna get undone. Everything's gonna get undone because Eobard doesn't understand what Crisis was meant to do. That's what it was. That's what it was supposed to do. That he doesn't understand what it's meant to do. So he's trying to fix it, and he's like, "No, you can't fix it." So we're gonna have that type of storyline. While we also have the Flash going through the Justice League and everything else, and then I want to introduce Dick Grayson as Batman. I also want to introduce the fact that we're gonna get a Tim Drake, and Tim is gonna have the relationship with Wally instead of Dick Grayson. That's what I want. That's what I want. And then we're going to have something special happen with Wally. And I know how people are going to feel about it, but it makes more sense for the character. And then we're going to have something completely different. And then we're going to move, and then we're going to move Tim into something else. And then we're going to start putting things into certain places. That's how I want to do it. But just to get at the very beginning, we have the new Rogues. We have a very powerful version of the Rogues. We have a very powerful version of the Flash. And we also have a damn determined version of Eobard Thawne. Now, again, we don't know what happened with Abracadabra. Now, Abracadabra was more of a Wally West villain, but I don't want to introduce him for Barry Allen because he never fought Barry Allen in the Golden Age. There wasn't no Abracadabra. There was the Magician, but he was more of a Jay Garrick. Now, when I introduce Jay Garrick, yeah, in some way there is a Jay Garrick, and I will do it in a very special way, and I will not do it as that's really Eobard Thawne. No, we're not doing that. No, there's a very special version that I will do, and it would actually blow everyone's mind. It will blow everyone's mind, and I would also introduce the fact that Barry's legacy all determines off of Grant Gustin. That's the way it is. It will all balance off of what Grant Gustin does, and not because we want to follow. I don't want to follow what the story is doing. What I want to do is I want to make it a little bit different. But Grant Gustin's version of Barry is the second Barry live action Barry we've had that's been continuous. Now people can say, what about the kid from Smallville? That wasn't Barry Allen. That was Bart Allen. He was Bart Allen. He wasn't Barry Allen, and he definitely wasn't Wally West. He was Bart Allen. That was Bart Allen. Okay. What's going to happen with the Flash and also his dad and everything else. Now, there's some special stuff I want to do with that. And again, if you guys want me to do more with the Flash, let me know down below and I will definitely put it in there. So like I said, hey, like, comment, share, subscribe down below, hit the bell. And I'll definitely do some more of these if you want it. I haven't been hearing much about it, so I haven't been really doing it. But I really do like doing these things. It's just getting some fresh ideas out there. Maybe someone could, if someone wants to do it, hey, that's great. I personally don't care. I have tons and tons of more ideas. Also, I don't mind taking a little bit from the CW. I don't mind taking a little bit from the comics, and I definitely don't mind taking a little bit from the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm and Paul Dini universe, because a lot of us grew up on that, and I really want to make Ezra Miller's a little bit darker, and I still want to keep it with that light tone, because you got to have it with the Flash. You have to have it with the Flash. I'm sorry, you have to have it with the Flash a little bit, but you also got to make the stories dark, because this version of Eobard is not playing. Things happened and he's pissed. He's livid. So I want to get into that. Thank you for joining me. You guys have a great one, and I will get that Green Lantern one out as soon as I possibly can. I just have to think about how I want to construct it and how I will have it make sense to the grander scope. And I want to make it where you're going to get a lot more stories. And I also want to put in the fact of what happened with the CW Crisis. Now, you guys can think about what I'm thinking about doing. But hey, give me some ideas if you guys, and I might put it in. But if you guys want to hear any more, let me know. And you guys have a great one. Have a great day. And keep yourself safe. Bye.